Hello there and a very good evening. Welcome to Sports City, your home of sports analysis. You are with me, Bill Clinton Odhiambo, and joining me on Panditri Kawaida is a little bit different, but I have a guest with us tonight, Mr. Dalmas Otieno. Karibu sana mtu wangu. Fresh. It's been a minute since we had you here.
Yeah.
Kwa wale kutambui, I'll give you a chance to introduce pale mbele kidogo. Yes. But then again, also my interpreter this evening is Tobias Omondi. Remember to catch up with us through our socials, 0111 980 384. That is our SMS and WhatsApp number. And here is Dalmas, kocha wa Kenya National Amputee Football Team. Karibu sana ndugu tena.
Asante sana.
Kwa wale kujipa le nyumbani, kindly introduce yourself before tuendelee.
My name is Dalmas Otieno. I'm the head coach of the Kenya National Amputee Football Team, and I'm happy to join you in studio.
Yes. Thank you so much for making time again and joining us tonight. Of course, coming up in 3 weeks' time will be the African Amputee Football Cup of Nations, right? Yes. And it's one of the most coveted tournaments as far as amputee football is concerned here in Africa and also in the world generally. How can you express your feelings towards this issue?
First of all, I am really happy and thank you for having me in studio. It's a really big honor for me as a coach. It's going to be my first AFCON tournament. And I'm really optimistic that it's going to be a very good tournament for us because the preparation has been good, the players are in good morale,
right.
And I believe we are going to come back with some good medals, right, from Cairo. Yes.
Even before you get into the thick of things as far as preparations is concerned, for you personally, transitioning from being a player, the captain of the team, to a coach, how can you describe that particular transition for you?
It's not a very smooth transition,
right,
but also not a very difficult one. Having played for the last 14 years professionally here in Kenya and back in Turkey. So, as I was playing, I was also trying to understand how coaching works, right, because I was also trying to emulate what my Turkish coach was coaching us when I was back in Turkey. Because when he was not available, I was the one taking charge of training programs, okay, and everything else. So coming back home now and getting into coaching, I think it has been a bit, slow, but at the same time, good.
Right.
Considering that I coached my first tournament in Ghana, and the performance was not very bad. Considering how prepared we were, because we went there having just trained for a month only, and we managed to beat teams like Uganda, who were in camp for about 6 or 7 months, and gave a run for Egypt a run for the money when we played against them in the African Games.
Yeah.
So I believe it's been a slow transition, but it's catching up, and the team is really gelling into what I'm trying to give or to instill in them. And I believe when you watch us play, you will be able to see that I'm doing a good job.
Definitely.
Yes.
Napenda your momentum, your side.
Yes.
But then again, also as far as tournaments is concerned, the Kenya National Amputee team is not CC game is as far as tournaments is concerned, because we don't know, back in you've participated twice in the World Cup.
Yes.
Right? Just talk to us through the journey of these tournaments.
Yeah. So let me just begin from the top.
Right.
Because we played our first tournament in 2013.
Yeah.
That was the AFCON games, in which were hosted in Kenya. And after the AFCON, we played our first international friendly match against Liberia in Monrovia,
right,
which we lost, of course, because it was just like few years after we started the amputee football in Kenya, okay, and Liberia were by then the African champions. So it's been a journey of waiting and just gauging ourselves on our abilities and capabilities.
Right.
So, and then we played our first World Cup in 2014 in Mexico, which was baptismal by fire. Of course, meeting countries like Russia, Turkey, Uzbekistan, who were the then champions. We didn't perform very well in 2014. I think we were 19th out of 24 countries, right, which participated in the tournament. And then again we played our second World Cup in 2018,
right,
and we performed very well.
Right.
We finished 12th out of 24
right,
countries that participated. And we managed to beat countries like USA, Ireland, who by 2014 were countries that we would never think we'd be able to defeat.
Because they are well equipped.
Yeah, we are well equipped, and if you look at how they are training, it was high level.
Something consistent.
Yes, and I mean, that gave us morale, and it could show that if we get the right equipment, the right coaching, the right resources, and the right support from the ministry and the Kenyans at large, Kenya is a World Cup contender.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, coming up to the now coming tournament in Cairo, Egypt, that is the African Amputee Football Cup of Nations.
Yes.
How are the preparations going so far? As far as the team, all the team members available? Because I understand, some are representing the country in different areas.
Yeah.
When Turkey.
Yeah.
And how are the preparations going so far, generally?
Generally, the preparation is good. We've been training for the last 3 months now.
Right.
In a non-residential training setting, which does not really favor us very much, considering that we have players that come from as far as Mombasa, Kakamega, Kisumu, and these players do not have accommodation in Nairobi.
Right.
So we've had to try and accommodate them ourselves as players and the coaching staff, so that they can be able to train without having to think about where they'll sleep, how they're gonna get food. But generally the training is good. I have also a very good team. The goalkeeper trainer Francis Ochola, who is doing a good job. I have my assistant coach Wycliffe Opondo, who are also doing a good job. In the past we didn't have that kind of setting whereby we have a very good assistant coach who does all the training and the drills with the team. Yeah. And the keepers were never that active in terms of when they didn't have a very good trainer.
Right.
But now they don't have any excuse to give, because they've trained a lot, and I believe we are going to have the best goalkeepers we've ever had before.
Right.
And we've ever had it before. So training wise, I think we are ready. The training program has also been intense, and the players have really gained much in the training.
Yeah.
And I believe if they don't perform this time, then I don't think they'll blame us, the coaches or the federation, because they've gotten everything that they need. Right. And I believe in them, and they are showing that they are ready to go and fight for this country. Right. Yes.
As far as support is concerned, it's almost a recurrent question, and maybe a situation where every time we have these important tournaments, it is sort of embarrassing or shaming the fact that there's not really proper support that is being given as far as the welfare of the place is concerned. How can you voice this concern?
Well, I think we've been talking about this issue for the last 14 years. Yeah. Yeah, because we believe we are a national team just like the Harambee Stars. We are a national team just like the Harambee Starlets and the under-20s and the under-18s. Right. And we deserve to get the support they get from the Ministry of Sports and the support from the Kenyans. We do not feel nice or good when we always come to the media to say that we need support from the ministry, especially now that the Honorable Governor Mwamba is really doing a good job at the ministry with the Talent Hela and the initiative, making sure that these young players are getting gelled into the senior national team in the coming years. And we have been asking ourselves, why are we not getting the same treatment or support from the ministry, and why is it that we have to go through a very long channels to get support? Right. Because we are playing our third World Cup. We are playing our third AFCON, Cup of Nations. Right. And hopefully we are going to be playing our third World Cup if we qualify in this tournament that we're going for in Cairo. And looking back, and we ask ourselves, how many times has Harambee Stars played in the World Cup? Right. 0. How many times have they played in the Cup of Nations? Maybe twice or maybe thrice. But this is a team that has consistently proved that we are a very big team to reckon with in Africa, because we've beaten very big countries. We delivered in Tanzania. We delivered in Mexico. We need support from the ministry so that these players can get to just recognize or to get the recognition they deserve from the ministry, because they are capable. you know, we have players playing in Turkey, and they are hopefully be coming back by end of this week or starting of coming week.
Okay.
And this it really shows that amputee football, with the really little support we are getting, we are doing the much we can with the little support. So if we get the much support that we can get from the ministry, I believe Kenya will be a World Cup winner in 2026.
Right.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, it's possible.
All right,
Yeah,
it's very possible.
Yes.
And of course, when you talk about the initiatives like Talanta Hela, how the government is helping, you know, the young ones integrate into, you know, this is something that should be done also in the amputee football system, maybe. That because, you know, if you look at the future, the broader future aspect, where we'll definitely need to have other players coming in the future to represent, because you don't expect Coach Dalmas akule pale milele, unajua, but you have to set that precedent. In fact, set that ground for allowing other peers to come in, learn from you, of course, and you know, see the success that you've had, and they should be given that ile morale inakuja for them to do that. And as far as preparations are concerned, I've seen friendlies hapa na pale. How is that going on so far?
At the moment, we have been trying to get to play maybe Uganda, the amputee national team of Uganda, because they are our neighbors, and also they are going to participate in this tournament in Cairo. We were trying to organize if at least we can have, you know, like the Harambee Stars, they've had the four-nation friendly match in Malawi.
Matches,
If we can have the same, the four-nation friendly matches in Kenya, between Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, and Rwanda, because we are all going to Cairo for the same tournament, and we are not in the same group. So if at all we could organize that here in Kenya, so that we can gauge ourselves and you know, have a nice build-up before Cairo, then that would be really awesome for all the four countries. But currently we've just played one friendly match against the Bolas FC, which is a ladies team that is transitioning to be a KPL women's team.
Okay.
And for us, because we are trying to get, you know, as much friendly matches as we can.
Right.
It doesn't matter if we play with the starlets, or we just want to gauge ourselves and how good we are, if the training has been helping us or not, so that by the time we get to Cairo, then we know where to rectify, where to adjust, and where we are very good at, so that we can play matches that are intentional. Yeah.
Oh, and I saw the pools. The draws came out. Kenya is in Group C alongside Ghana, Gambia, and Algeria. But when you look at the other compartments, when you look at Group A, for example, Egypt, Cameroon, Nigeria are in the fray as well. Burundi wako pale. Group B pale ndo tuko na Uganda's. Uganda is representing Senegal, Morocco, Liberia as well. Then finally Group D, Angola, Tanzania pia wako pale, Sierra Leone and Rwanda. Of course, there's that perception that kuna wale the bigger teams, because of, just like you mentioned, they're well prepared ahead of these games. But when you look at this particular, you can challenge yourself against any team. But who in particular are you seeing as a major threat?
In our group, majorly we have Ghana, because number one, they are the African champions. So we are you know, pitting ourselves and gauging ourselves with Ghana, because number one, they have almost the national team are playing in Turkey professionally, but we are not going to look down upon any team, because we have never played against Algeria, and I would say they're the newbies in this tournament, because they have not participated in any tournament before, and they also have one player playing in Turkey, meaning that they might have other good players back home. So we're not going to say we are going to fear or look at any other team as an underdog. We will treat them equally. The same way we'll play against Ghana, the same way we'll play against Algeria and Gambia. But you know, facts are just facts. Ghana is the better team in that group, and we're going to take them head on.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And talking about having the experience in the team, having the likes of, you know, we talked about Nicholas being part of this the squad like in Kotaki. How has that been instrumental in the team as far as getting, you know, making players to step up maybe and feel encouraged as far as delivering is concerned?
Yeah, it's very instrumental, because when I was playing in Turkey, and I was the only player from Kenya playing professionally in Turkey, it was not it was good on my side, but it was not very good on the national team side, because when you have only one player who's a professional player, then the team is not as strong as if you'd have 3 or 4.
Right.
But right now we have Nicolas Keyo, who's the captain, playing in Turkey, and they've just finished their league yesterday, and they performed very well. Trying to, they really lifted their team from the relegation zone to at least position 8.
Right.
And they are coming back to bring the experience they have gotten from Turkey. There's Munga, there's Albert Mwakenga, and there's Keyo. So right now we played a match against the Ballers FC, and we lost 1-0 in that match.
Right.
And we are planning to have a return friendly match with them.
Yeah.
And I can assure you, they will get beaten.
All right.
We will beat them because the experience is now coming back, and the players who are playing locally, they usually look up to these professional players because they bring the experience, they bring the confidence, they bring everything.
Right.
They package it together, and when they watch them how they in Swahili say kujituma.
Yes.
They also want to be like this, like Keyo. They want to be like Munga. They want to be like Albert, because after all, it's all the experience that is needed. Yeah. And the young ones are coming up. We also have a player who's in high school. Right. So meaning that this young guy will look at these players, professional players, and want to be like them.
Right.
So I believe these guys are bringing experience. They're going to bring a lot of confidence into the team, and I can assure you, it's going to be different from how we performed in Accra. Right. It's going to be one of the best tournaments we've ever had.
I can really feel the excitement, building up just from the ones coach. Kumanisha, mbele iko sawa as far as the guidance is concerned. Yes. And let's just talk about how the support that you're getting right about now towards not only even the coming tournament, but then again generally for the support you're getting as a federation to build up the federation. We talked about, just like you mentioned, there's a player in high school. Yeah. But in the future you'll be looking to see more others joining, of course, because there'll be that influence automatically. How is the federation being supported, in such an aspect?
Right now, there's not much that has been happening in terms of the youth program, but there's a conversation that we've always had since some years back, and I think it's the right time now that when we come from Cairo, we sit down and have a very good structure, because at the moment we have about 3 players that finished high school last year, and they joined us in training. And we have 2 players from Bungoma in Alondo Secondary School. So we have about 17 or 20 players in high school currently. Okay. Those who have finished and those who are still in high school. And now we want to try and bring the young ones into the game, because I played this sport for 14 years. If I wanted to play right now, I would play. Yeah. But for how long will I go? We need to get the young ones to come and replace Dalmas, replace Munga, replace Keyo, because they will not play forever. And if we don't start now, it will mean that by the time Keyo, Munga, and Albert are retiring, then we don't have any other person to take the shoes or to wear the shoes. And it will take a long time to now try and coach someone who's beyond 20. So that they can get into the game. So if we try now, if we just take them on now at the age of 19, 20, maybe 23, they have a long way. They have about, normally I tell them I'm giving you 15 years to play the sport. So when you're 20, you have about until you're 35 to be in this sport. So 15 years is not a very long time and not a very short time, but it will depend on how have you accepted to train, because you can train for 15 years and not be good, and you can train for 5 years and be one of the best in Africa or in the world. So I'll give an example with Morocco. Morocco, they are like, this is their 4th or 5th year in amputee football, and the way they have improved and proved that they can be one of the best teams in the world is really alarming. And it's because they have gotten the support from the government, they've gotten the support from their citizens, they've gotten support from each and every person that wants Morocco to improve as a country. And well, we played against them in 2021, and we lost 1-0 at extra time. right now I would not want to meet them in, like these critical stages, because not because I fear them, because I know how much they've put into the game, and that is what we want as Kenya. We want our government to support us so that these young ones in the next 5 years can be the best, one of the best, or the best players in Africa.
Right.
Yes.
And apart from those who are watching, how can they support you ahead of this tournament, as far as maybe social media pilot or just drumming up support, maybe to come watch, participate in their trainings? How can they do that?
Yeah, I mean, if you go to our social media, which is the Kenya National Amputee Football Team, it's a very, very active page, and we always try to, give morale to our fans and our players.
Yeah.
So you can just go there, leave us a comment, subscribe to our page or like our page, and just give us the morale. I mean, just tuambie tunaweza, yani tupatie wakati wote tuko na game pale, yani tuambie tutaperform poa, because with that support and those encouraging words give players a lot of they boost their morale a lot. You never know when you're back home, but when we read those comments, it really gives us the encouragement that we are going to perform better, and not for us but for all of us in this country. And we are doing this for Kenya. This flag is not my flag. It's a Kenyan flag.
Yes.
So when we play there, we are playing for all of you, 50 plus million Kenyans.
Yes.
Yes.
I like that. The fact that the fact that the badge matters, the Kenyan flag really matters. Tukimalizia, Dalmas, what should you expect as far as performance-wise is concerned to the tournament, the coming tournament, and also because it also acts as a qualifiers for the World Cup in 2026. What should you expect generally from you guys?
Generally, just expect us to qualify from the group stage. I believe we are going to be first or second in that group. We are not going to perform lower than second in that group, so that we qualify for the quarterfinals directly. And after quarterfinals, whoever will meet, we will play like our lives depend on it.
Yes.
So that, because when we get to the semi-finals, we have a direct ticket to the World Cup, and we missed the 2022 World Cup, so we cannot afford to miss the coming World Cup, because we want to give these young ones, those players who have not played in the World Cup before, the chance to play in the World Cup, and just to give them something to decorate their CV.
Yes.
My CV is decorated with so they also need to have something like a World Cup debut or something, just to show and to be proud of. Because when you play in the World Cup, there's the biggest moment of somebody's life as a footballer. So we are going to perform very well. We are not going anything short than a World Cup slot, and that we can assure you as Kenyans and the ministry, because also the ministry wants performance.
Yes.
But I can also maybe add the ministry, because when you need performance, you also need to support us with the resources we need. Give us that residential camp, because without a residential camp, then a team cannot perform as well as they're supposed to perform, because that is how a team prepares to win a tournament. If you don't train, then you don't win. So we need to get a good time training camp, residential training camp, because at the moment we've been training from our homes to the ground, which is tiresome and a lot of logistics here and there.
Yes.
We need just at least 2 weeks residential camp from the ministry, and if we get that, we can assure you that this team will perform beyond your expectation.
Definitely, we've been there in the tournament, so without doubt, we're holding you accountable for awards, because you've shown it before, you've delivered before. So we are hopefully, waiting for the tournament to fike. Qualifiers. Hopefully, you'll get to that stage where you also participate in the World Cup. So I'm really proud of the way the team has So it's about time that also, just like you said, the government will try come in and assist where possible, because it's just like you've said, for the betterment of also the future players, the younger generation coming in, they need that support, they need that. It's very crucial for them to also feel like they matter as well. Thank you so much, Dalmas, for making time.
Thank you.
Hopefully, we are going to wait and see how the tournament will go on, but we are fully behind Team Kenya.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the broadcast, but then again, in case you have any questions, just like Dalmas amesema upon the social media, the Kenya National Amputee Football Team, right? Yes. Across all social media.
Across all social media,
yes. Show love, show support. Remember, the tournament is coming in 19th through to the 28th of April. That is in Cairo, Egypt. That is the African Amputee Football Cup of Nations, which will also act as the qualifiers for the 2026 World Cup, Amputee World Cup, right? All the best as far as the tournament is concerned.
Thank you so much.
Until we meet up next time also, remember this is Sports City, your home of sports analysis. You've been with Big Clinton Odhiambo and Masana Language interpreter, Mr. Tobias Omoni. Have a good night.